I'm Phil Mallender. My PhD was in microbial genetics. I'm here to explain why I believe in God. To me, all the evidence points to the conclusion that life came into existence through the acts of an intelligent grand designer. So why do I say this? According to the theory of evolution, all life evolved from something else right down to the simplest, earliest form of life. The simplest form of life we know about is a single-celled organism called a mycoplasma. To live, it needs an outer membrane that acts as a skeleton and a barrier to keep the cell together. It needs the hundreds of different proteins called enzymes, which carry out the thousands of chemical reactions that take place every second inside the cell. It has DNA, which contains the blueprint, the coded instructions for making all the different parts of the cell. And it needs to have the machinery so that the cell can replicate, and the machinery, separate machinery, to make proteins from the genetic code. All these things have to be present at the same time for the cell to live. It's impossible that this came into existence by chance. It's not a question of give it long enough and it would occur. Let me explain. This is a cartoon of how proteins obtain their shape. Proteins are made out of amino acid building blocks joined together in chains. The chain folds into a three-dimensional shape which is necessary for its activity. Now, if those amino acid building blocks in the chain are incorrect or in the wrong sequence, then the protein won't be able to fold properly, and so it simply won't work. Now, we can work out the odds of an enzyme of 100 amino acids length being formed by chance. There are 20 amino acids found in proteins, and amino acids can be divided into 7 different chemical groups. When made chemically, amino acids are made as 2 mirror image forms, an L form and a D form, but only the L forms are found in proteins from living cells. We can do the calculation. We assume in every position along the chain that the L form of an amino acid from the correct amino acid chemical group is in each position. So the overall chance of getting the whole protein in the right sequence is 1 in 14 to the power 100, which works out at 1 chance in 4.1 times 10 to the power 114. So that is 4.1 with 114 zeros after it. Now, statisticians use 1 chance in 1 times 10 to the 50 is the limit of anything happening by chance. So the evidence points that a single enzyme couldn't have occurred by chance, even if the right conditions were present. Experimentally, the minimum number of protein enzymes needed for a cell to live and stay alive is 473. Now, some scientists have calculated that as few as 150 to 300 proteins may be needed for the simplest living cell. But we've seen that 1 protein couldn't have happened by chance, let alone 150 or 300 or 473. In the same way, we can calculate the odds of a single gene occurring by chance to code for 1 protein 100 amino acids long. I'm not going to go through the calculation, you can see it on the screen. But once again, the odds are many times more remote than anything that could possibly happen by chance. In fact, the DNA bears all the hallmarks of intelligence. It contains non-random coded data with the instructions to make every component of the cell. So where did this data come from? It couldn't have happened by chance. I believe we need an intelligence to explain it. The evidence points to life being generated by a powerful, intelligent grand designer, God himself.